Covert narcissists are emotionally immature and wounded, incredibly insecure, they have low self-worth, but you may not recognize this at first because they project the exact opposite. They act strong and resilient, but you will learn that it's all a facade. In time, you'll be on the receiving end of their defensive behaviors, and no matter how hard you try to convince them that you're not the enemy, you will be treated as exactly that, their worst enemy. Sure, they may put on a great act in public, but behind closed doors, it will be a one-sided relationship with a selfish, self-absorbed, and insecure person. I'm Lise Leblanc, and today I'm talking about the specific behaviors that a female covert narcissist displays in long-term romantic relationships. As I'm sure you already know, in the beginning of a relationship with a covert narcissist, you will be cast as her hero. And as long as she sees you as her knight in shining armor, things will be great. But inevitably, you will do something, maybe something small, maybe something completely accidental, but it will entirely shift her perception of you. And from this point forward, things are going downhill, and there's nothing you can do about it. In her mind, you've been put into the basket with all of the other people who have disappointed and hurt her, and from now on, her resentment will grow as everything you say and do will be used to build her case against you. She will likely make you believe that if you work hard enough, maybe, just maybe, you can be her hero again. But once you've been cast the villain, there really is no coming back. It's like having $1 million debt with extremely high interest rates. No matter how big your payments, it won't even make a dent. So, obviously, it's best if you can avoid this relationship altogether by noticing and acting on any red flags that you see. And to learn more about these red flags, click on the link above. But just quickly to recap some of the major red flags, this would be when someone love and sex bombs you and is getting you addicted to them, then pulling away and distancing themselves really early on in the relationship, making you feel anxious and fearful. Another one is when they present you with a long list of boundaries and ultimatums right off the bat. What they want, what they need, what they won't put up with. Telling you what kind of man you need to be if you want to be with her. Like you have to prove yourself and promise the moon before even getting to know her. And in my opinion, the biggest red flag is making herself out to be the victim and everyone else out to be the abuser, while simultaneously casting you as the knight in shining armor that's coming to save her. So when she blurts out all of her trauma right off the bat, pulling on your heartstrings, and you're being painted as the potential hero, the only one who understands, the only one who can be trusted, so different from everyone else in the world, if her past dating history sounds like a train wreck, then you are probably going to end up in that wreck too. Now, let me also say that if you have a history of troubled relationships, don't be sitting on your high horse pointing out all their bad behavior. Take an opportunity to, examine your own behavior. Okay, so let's say you're not the problem and you're already knee-deep into this relationship. Here are 10 things that you will experience. And note, these are just examples. And again, everyone has some narcissistic traits and behaviors. And these will be more prominent when, the person feels threatened. So if you experience some of these things that I'm about to describe only once in a while, then it's not likely due to narcissism. It's only if it's a long-standing, consistent, and inflexible pattern of behavior, meaning they do it most of the time, and no matter what you say or do, no matter how hard you try, it still happens regularly. So in no particular order, here are some examples of what you might experience once you go from hero to villain. And if you have more, please feel free to share them in the comment section below. Number one is that sex is used as a tool or a weapon to strategically manipulate and control you. It becomes a way to exert power over you rather than a genuine expression of love, connection, and intimacy. And if you have the audacity to express your need for sex, you will likely be accused of only wanting her for sex and not caring about her needs. And of course, the more desperately you want sex, the more you will be denied as she realizes that this is the best way of getting leverage over you. So maybe you want sex tonight and she's like, I don't think so. Don't you care that I'm stressed out, tired, and have a headache? Or, fill in the blank with whatever else. And you're like, yeah, I've noticed. That's why I gave you a massage last night. Oh, so you can manipulate me to have sex? Nice. No, to help you feel less stressed. You can't win. Number two is constantly questioning your loyalty and devotion. She consistently doubts your commitment and creates an atmosphere of mistrust where you feel like you're constantly having to prove your loyalty and devotion, even when there's no reason whatsoever to doubt your commitment, since you're bending over backwards trying to make her happy and meet her needs. Number three is arguing about things that she doesn't know anything about. So she fiercely argues with you even about things that you may be highly knowledgeable about. Instead of engaging in constructive conversations and being willing to learn from you, she has to assert her dominance and act intellectually superior by treating you like you're an idiot, like you were born yesterday and couldn't possibly know something that she doesn't know. Along the same lines, a female covert narcissist tends to be confrontational, hostile, antagonistic. It's like she's just itching for a battle when literally nothing is going on. This antagonism is often subtle, leaving you questioning your own reactions and feelings. So an example might be that she questions you aggressively about some mundane thing. So maybe she says something like, "Why are you eating so late? Didn't you have enough for dinner?" And you say, "Yeah, but that was 4 hours ago and I'm hungry." Thinking to yourself, what am I, a 5-year-old? And she says, "Well, why did you leave such a mess on the counter?" "Oh, I didn't notice I had made a mess. I'll clean it up in a minute right after I'm done eating." "Well, how did you not notice you made a mess? You're the one who made it." So no matter what you say or how you say it, your explanation will be countered, contradicted, or it will turn into an accusation. "Why are you getting so defensive? I'm just trying to ask you a simple question. You don't have to get so mad." Here's another example of antagonistic, aggressive questioning. "So who's that guy you were talking to?" "Oh, he's my barber." "So what, he just happened to be in front of the grocery store at the same time as you?" "Yeah." "Well, that's sketchy." So you're being treated like you're a Russian spy or like you're up to no good when you're just going about your normal day-to-day business. And I won't even get into the insinuations about cheating because that's a whole other video in and of itself. Number 4 is the sour moods. A covert narcissist's emotional home base is a mix of sadness, fear, and anger. So you'll see a lot of anxiety and stress, disappointment, irritability, frustration, rage, as well as whining, crying, depression, and huge expressions of dissatisfaction with life and with you. And again, it doesn't matter what you say or do, it won't stop their constant criticism and contempt towards you. They truly see you as a disappointment, as someone who promised them the world and didn't deliver, someone who is ruining their life. So in her mind, you're the cause of her bad moods, and she feels totally justified in withdrawing all positive emotion and attention to punish you. Now, you may notice that her sour moods often come out of the blue, but they often happen when someone else is getting attention or when you are happy or succeeding at something. She may act supportive, but her lackluster emotional response and subtle negativity is aimed at deflating you and keeping you down. Number 5, there's no forgiveness The female covert narcissist is unforgiving and always maintains a backpack full of grievances, like a mental catalog of everything you've ever said or done wrong. And she strategically pulls out this old stuff out of her backpack whenever she's not getting what she wants or not feeling like she's on top. And no matter how much you apologize or try to make things right, it doesn't matter. This is her leverage and she will never ever remove it from the backpack. Now, covert narcissists often boast about their ability to forgive others, talking about how they take the ethical and spiritual high ground, implying that you're the one who is not able to forgive and forget, probably because of your past trauma, and they place themselves in a superior moral position when in truth they're the ones that will never forgive. Number 6 is that there will be no apologies. A covert narcissist can admit when they've made a mistake or are in the wrong, so don't expect them to say that they're sorry. And if ever they do, it's almost always followed by blame shifting, minimizing. So they may say, yeah, I cheated on you, but I only kissed him. We didn't have sex. Or this never would have happened if you hadn't been flirting with that woman at your Christmas party 5 years ago. Number 7 is the lack of appreciation. So you'll get boatloads of appreciation in the very beginning of the relationship, but after she switches, you're not going to get any appreciation whatsoever. It'll be just as rare as apologies. Number 8 is gaslighting. Gaslighting is when someone manipulates you into questioning your own reality. A covert narcissist distorts facts, makes false accusations, and consistently will challenge your perception of events and of reality. This creates confusion and undermines your confidence in your own memory and judgments. Sometimes this is done intentionally, but often when it comes to a covert narcissist, they truly only see things from their own perspective, and they twist things around, filtering out any inconvenient parts of the conversation or situation before parking it into their memory bank. So to you, it seems like they're conveniently forgetting what happened on purpose, or trying to just deny their own actions, which sometimes is the case. But often their selective amnesia is a defense mechanism that allows them to maintain a consistent narrative that upholds their flawless self-image. So this might sound something like, I'm so confused why you're saying this. That's not how it happened. Or why are you lying about that? So-and-so was there. Number 9 is triangulation. A covert narcissist loves to triangulate by subtly creating alliances and pitting people against each other, creating conflict within their own family, their own social circle, at work. And all of this is to control the perceptions of others and maintain a position of power by dictating the narrative and setting the emotional tone of their interactions and relationships. And if anything goes off the rails in their relationships, which it will, they already have a foundation for their smear campaign. To learn more about triangulation, click on the link above. Number 10 is that they have very little empathy. As I said before, but it's worth mentioning again, a female covert narcissist is always playing the victim and always trying to elicit empathy while having none for anyone else. Sure, she can act like she has genuine concern for the children starving in Africa, but she is completely unable to put herself in your shoes. It's like she truly can't see that, the thing she's upset about today is exactly something that she did to you last week. When she does things wrong, she will come up with wild narratives to justify her behavior, to blame you or someone else. But when you do something, it's because you had the worst intentions possible. You're trying to hurt them. It's as though she believes that the world revolves around her and around her needs. So anytime you point out any of her bad behavior, even if it's just to discuss your wants, needs, or concerns, anything important to you, she switches off. And of course, this is especially true if she thinks you're pointing the finger at her in any way or expecting any sort of mutual accountability. Suddenly she becomes avoidant. I don't want to talk about this. Why are you trying to start a fight? Can't we talk about this later? But of course, later never comes. Or maybe instead she becomes dismissive. Like, why are you being so childish and immature? Do we really need to talk about this? Or maybe she intentionally withdraws, walks away from you, gives you the silent treatment, or she turns to some other tactic that I already mentioned, like gaslighting. It never happened, it didn't happen that way, you're putting words in my mouth. Or if you provide proof that it did happen, then she switches to blame shifting. Whenever you need something, when you have a problem, you're blamed for the problem. They're unavailable and unreliable unless it makes them look good in the eyes of others. A covert narcissist may, on occasion, express awareness of their bad behavior, like once in a blue moon. But they're often unwilling or unable to do the intensive internal work that's required to break down their narcissistic defenses and adaptations. So they always go back to behaving in narcissistic ways because these defense mechanisms are entrenched in their personality, often because of genetics or early life experiences or a combination of both. So not to be all doom and gloom, but if you're experiencing what I described in this video, things are only going to get worse as time goes on. If you feel like you're unable to give up or get out of this relationship, then I suggest contacting a mental health professional in your area who can help you navigate and cope with your specific situation and help you accept that these negative behaviors are part of the package. And let me save you the suspense. It's not going to change. If you found this video helpful, please comment, subscribe, and to learn more about the tactics used by a female covert narcissist, please click on the link above.